And welcome back to the Weekly Tech Round with me, Jay.
And me, Karl.
Episode 252 coming in a few days later than planned due to the exceptional heat here in the UK.
We all melted for the weekend and we're back now.
It was. We were hoping to have recorded this episode last week. We're recording this today at the start of the last week of June. But we were hoping to have had this recorded last week. But due to the unbearable heat here in the UK, and actually I think most of Western Europe,
Most of Europe,
yeah. We were in what was some kind of heat bubble. It was it just was unbearable. It was plus 35 in our recording studios, wasn't it? And just not good at all.
No, not good at all.
That is not conducive to safe working conditions, as I would say. But interestingly, in the UK, there is a cold working temperature, isn't it? If it's too cold, you can stop working.
But not too hot, no.
If it's not too hot, it's like, hang on a minute.
Well, I suspect when they implemented this, they never thought it would get this hot.
No, but last week, the UK beat every temperature record for June, like every day running, didn't it? It kept going up, and beyond. Though this week is a more, I want to say, it's according to my temp thermometer, is around 19-20 degrees outside, which is positively delightful, quite frankly.
Yeah, exactly. Though it is meant to be getting hot again next week, so it's creeping up into the 30s by next week again.
Yeah, I was going to say this week appears to be 25 sort of average, doesn't it?
Yeah,
and then she said,
that's all right. I can deal with that.
Yeah, climate change isn't real.
No, exactly.
It's all these AI data centers. That's what the problem is, pumping out all this heat. It's just data centers. That's all the problem is. Anyway, we have got a good lineup for you this week. We're catching up on some of the stories over the last week and a bit beyond that have caught our eye. We're going to talk Steam machines, or more importantly, Steam frames, Steam machines, you name it, all the Steam stuff. Put your wallet away because GTA is coming. We're going to talk a bit more on the Trump phone because, guess what? That just continues to give us laughs. Fox has opened its wallet and has purchased a streaming TV company. SpaceX, of course, we know had a fantastic IPO. I made a little bit of money off that. It's settled back down, but with the cash they decided also they were going to spend some money as well. Anthropic could be forced to spend some money if its lawsuits are not settled. And Italy has fallen out with Apple. But more on that after. So let's talk about Valve then. And, we know now that the Steam machine, which we'll talk about in a second, is real. We know they're coming. We know you could have bought one, which we'll explain in a second. But the frame, which is the VR headset, also looks like it's about to go on sale. But because there was a little bit of investigative work done, wasn't it, that discovered that quite a lot of them had arrived in the United States.
Yes, exactly. A German container ship docked in Los Angeles, apparently containing a shipment for Valve, didn't it? Roughly 32 metric tons of virtual reality devices. So 13 tons of actual products, apparently. Around 26,000 units they're estimating. So, a big old shipment, but we didn't get any announcement of its release. I thought we were going to get it along with a Steam machine announcement, which we'll talk about in a minute. But alas, it has not been announced yet.
No, so this was, like you say, this German container ship that had come all the way from China, hadn't it? And the manifest on it, it didn't say Steam frame, did it? It was a little bit more obvious than that by saying virtual reality headsets, Steam, from the supplier in Shenzhen or wherever it was. I may have butchered that. Apologies for have. And also, there was a differentiator as well because some said game consoles as well, didn't they? As opposed to,
I suspect it was a big old 40-foot container or 40-foot containers, and then they were multiple of them split with Steam machines and Steam frames.
So we know they're here. I say they're here. They're real.
They're real. They do exist, but we knew that. We just expected them 3 or 4 months ago, didn't we?
Yeah, exactly. But where are they then? So there's, you've got 140 tons or 140, tons or whatever it is of, 32 tons of cargo labeled virtual reality, wasn't it?
Yes,
sorry,
and
then 140 of consoles. Well, where are, are they in some warehouse in Gabe's house?
I don't know. Let's just say this is what shocked me. So we got the Steam machine, we got that announcement, we got pricing. Huzzah! You can't afford it, and you can't order it now. But the Steam frame. I was really expecting this at the same time, so I don't know what's holding that one up, really.
No, because they're still saying shipping this summer, don't they? That's what it says. It just
Yeah.
says early, summertime. So we know that that's it. But you would have thought, like you say, given the story we're about to talk about next, they'd have been in parallel with that, or maybe they're queuing it up for another announcement launch or something.
Maybe. I suppose the big one is going to be the pricing. So I think obviously when they initially announced this, they said it was going to be sub-index pricing, didn't they, of their index headset? But
I mean, that wasn't
I
cheap. Let's be
suspect
honest.
that might not. Well, that was what, 1,000 was it? Somewhere around
Yeah,
that. I
roughly.
suspect
Yeah.
it's not going to be sub-index pricing anymore. Not considering this is a standalone VR headset. You can connect it to the PC, but it will run games. It's got its own processor. It's got its own RAM. So I suspect the Rampocalypse is going to have its way with that.
It is. I mean, we're currently in the Steam summer sale, aren't we? Which is running now
We
until
are.
I think around the 9th of July, if I remember correctly. I must say, Steam sales of yore. There was a time many, many moons ago when a Steam sale came around. I'd have been like fantastic, and I'd have picked up loads of deals, and I've done all the gamification because it used to be like mini games, didn't there, and things you could do on the
Yeah.
Steam sale, wasn't there? And I'd have absolutely loved that time. I now dread a Steam sale because I'm like, God, there's more stuff that I'm never going to be able to play, and I don't want to buy because
Yeah, I bought 2 games already that I will probably never play. But sure, I bought them because they were good deals and they were on my wish list.
What did you buy? Go on there, tell us.
So I bought X4 Foundations because I was after a good spacey sim game, but not one that's online. I wanted a more solo player one.
Okay, yeah, sounds good. Yeah.
And then I bought one for my Steam Deck, Lonely Mountain Snow Riders. I wanted to have a
Sorry,
snowboard. It's a snowboarding game or skiing,
oh, right.
snowboard, that kind of thing. But it will work great on the Steam Deck. I have Slopes, which I love playing, but it's online only. You need the connection to be able to play it, even if you're not playing with anyone, which doesn't really work on the Steam Deck when I'm on a plane with no internet.
No, that's a good point. That's a valid point. I downloaded a couple of demos last week in the Demo Fest.
Okay.
That played on my Mac. One was called Airport Control 27. It was a bit like you play air traffic control and you have to.
I've got one of those. I think we bought one before, didn't we?
Yeah, this one's called Air Control 27. It's like
Okay.
a Chinese game. A lot of Chinese lettering in it, but it's very good and really high quality airports. And you have to do all the restrictions. I played it for an hour, and it's the most intense thing I think I've ever played for a long time. It's like there was another one, a submarine game, World War II, which was kind of isolinear kind of view, top down, where you kind of
Yep.
I've got quite a few things wish list as well. There was one game that I need to buy, which I was going to, but the reviews aren't very good, which is called You Are the Monster.
The monster, right? Okay.
And it's basically you're a monster rampaging through a city. Like in these horror films and stuff, or a kaiju or whatever.
Yeah.
Well, you play the kaiju.
I've seen the VR one of that. It's awesome.
Yeah, this is like rampaging, but apparently the reviews are not great by saying that people are like, I really wanted to like this game, but it's just not that good. Yeah, basically like refunded after 35 minutes. I was like, yeah, okay, maybe I won't have that then. But there was quite a few stuff on the Steam sale, I have to say, which made me not looking. I was hoping for some DCS add-ons for that. The CH-47 or Chinook was pretty cheap. It was under 30 quid. I was tempted on that one, but I wanted the Hercules to C-130, but that's still around 50 quid, and I can't bring myself to
Couldn't justify it. Yeah,
I can't justify it, sir. I know that's wrong. I know, Wreckfest, which was a favourite of ours, was down to £2 something, by the way.
Wow, I bought Wreckfest too. I still not played it yet. I really need to sit down and play some games.
I still haven't done that yet. I still haven't done it, so I've got to get into that. But to go back to the point, so yeah, I mean, at the moment, I haven't played VR for ages, but I think if I got myself a new Steam frame, I might play some more VR, but probably couldn't afford it at this stage of the game.
No.
Well, saying that though, I probably can't afford the Steam machine either, could we though? Given that has now launched, and well, if you were quick enough, you could have bought one, but they flew off the virtual shelves, didn't they?
They did. It officially launched. It launched June the 30th, didn't they? They had sign-ups and reservations for a lottery to try and stop the scalpers, but I've already seen them on eBay for sale. But unfortunately, the lottery window closed on the 25th, so we missed that one. But look, we did get the pricing. Let's do UK pricing, US, etc. There are basically 2 configurations, then an option of whether you want the controller or not, and you get a bit of a discount on the controller. But brace yourself. If you just want the 512 gig option, It's £879 or $1,049 there.
Ouch.
Your only other next option is 2 terabyte storage wise, which hits you at what? £1,149 or $1,349. Yeah, and that basically add another 70 or 80 quid if you want the controller on top.
We knew it wasn't going to be cheap. Let's be honest. We
No.
knew that was not going to be. This wasn't going to be a budget device. But yes, the AI RAM apocalypse has really done a number on things, hasn't it?
I mean, if you do go for the 2 terabyte one, they do throw in some extra accessories to
lovely, yeah,
cushion the blow. You get 2 of the magnetic faceplates because you can replace the face of it, like skins kind of thing. They're faceplates. You get a red fabric or a solid walnut one.
Oh, lovely. Classy.
Exactly. Go for the old school vibe with a bit of solid walnut.
I feel like the old car dashboards, isn't it?
Exactly. But yeah, that was not the pricing we were hoping for.
No.
Yeah, I mean, I did see some reviews of it, and look, it's good for what it is, but the value proposition isn't there anymore because Valve aren't going to subsidize this like Microsoft and Sony do. Considering you can go buy yourself a PlayStation 5 or even a PlayStation 5 Pro for about the same price, which will outperform it. It's a tricky ask, though. You don't have any yearly online costs for playing online gaming, do you? Like you don't need your Xbox thingy or your PlayStation Pass or I can't remember what they call them now. And your games are probably going to be a lot cheaper because it's Steam. You've got Steam sales. There's loads of cheap games, and if you've got a back catalogue, it might still be tempting, but it's not the value we hoped it would be.
Yeah, I'd have to say I kind of feel for Steam a little bit, to be fair, because the value prop, as you say, that they built this around and they designed didn't anticipate the chaos that we're living in today, and unfortunately, I think you're right, that has impacted what would have been a fantastic machine. Now, like you say, I think if you're in the Steam ecosystem and all your games are on Steam, then this could be a great machine for you. Really great machine, could be. And I think value-wise, it probably will balance out eventually in terms of the cost versus long-term, return on investment. That being said, at the moment, if you're looking to buy a machine, this is not the way to do it, is it? If you're looking to buy a PC gaming machine, this is not the way at all.
But if it's any consolation, Valve did officially release Steam OS for other machines.
They did,
you can go and download it and you can install it. And they have said they are working with Intel and NVIDIA to get support for the respective graphics cards in there. But that's not likely to be this year. It's more of a next year thing to get NVIDIA and Intel support in your in Steam OS.
I mean, good luck though trying to get any components to build your own machine if you haven't already got one.
Yeah, but I suppose if you've already got one and you're tired of Windows, for example, maybe for you. I mean, to be honest, okay, they've still got to sort out the DRM issue, haven't they? But if they get to the bottom of sorting out DRM running on Steam OS, you could switch your Windows one out because you only use it for gaming.
Yeah, that's true. You could do that.
You could put Steam OS on or Bazi or one of the other ones. If you want to play any of the modern games, the FPS ones, you're going to need the rootkit kind of things they put on the anti-cheat DRM stuff. But I had heard Valve are working with those as well to get the popular ones working on Linux.
Look, it's definitely going to be there. I think this is early launch. It's not quite mature yet, of course, but you're right. There's definitely a good roadmap going on, and Valve, I have a lot of faith in Valve. Valve typically tend to deliver, don't they, when they say they're going to do something? So it's good. But cost-wise, yes, it is definitely not the cheapest place to be right now, and it'll be interesting to see whether these things pop up on eBay going forward. Given the way
I have, I've already seen for 3,000.
Oh, you have? Okay, well that doesn't. Yeah, no surprise there.
Scalpers, even the light system, the scalpers still got in there.
Well, look, some of these people, it's their job, isn't it? They spend all time waiting for these systems. They have ways and means to get codes and stuff. But okay. Well, listen, as soon as we get the reviews of this, once they're out in the wild, we will definitely come back and give you an update on that. But it is finally here. We're just waiting for the frame. We've got the controller, we've got the machine, we've got the deck. We just need the frame now, and we have the completion. All right, so. Talking of spending cash in, it is finally true. We talked about it GTA 6 is a go. November 19th, 2026. You too will be able to play, or well, it's November 19th it comes out, isn't it? But November 20th will be the release date officially. Again, not cheap. There are two versions available of Grand Theft Auto 6 that you're able to buy. You can pick up the standard edition for $79.99 US or $69.99 UK, or the Ultimate Edition, which is a collection of different premium vehicles and weapons, and apparently access, so I was reading, to different shops as well, and like clothes, across the two main characters, which is Lucia and Jason. And that will be either $99.99 or $89.99 respectively, again US and UK. And anybody who pre-orders it before November 20th gets the vintage Vice City pack as well, which is kind of a flashback to the original Vice City game, which was set in the 80s, wasn't it? So look, I know you've already bit the bullet on this, haven't you?
I did. I was like, right, I ordered it, but I was like, am I going to get the standard, the ultimate? So I just got the ultimate. It was £20 difference. I've been waiting this long. I'm going to get my money's worth out of it. But I couldn't buy it for PC or for Steam Machine.
No.
It's PlayStation and Xbox, and still no mention of a PC launch yet. Which is, I suspect it's going to be at least another year before we see it on PC.
Easily. Yeah.
But no, I put down $89.99. I pre-ordered it. I will be taking a few days off, boss. And come November 19th, I'll be playing Grand Theft Auto 6.
But that being said, you could buy the standard edition now, couldn't you? And
yes, you can, and just upgrade at a later date. You don't have to put the full.
I haven't
down or whatever.
I haven't bit the bullet on this yet, but I'm tempted to buy the standard edition and maybe do a late upgrade.
But then at least you get your pre-order one in. You'll get your extra goodies, and then you just buy the ultimate upgrade, don't you, later?
Yeah, I know. I still haven't moved the Xbox into it. I've got the old 4K TV in the office. I'm still not convinced whether I've convinced my other half whether it's going to stay here. I think if it goes up somewhere, then maybe a question.
Just hide it with all the Lego. She'll never notice.
Oh dear. But yeah, so look, all these Christmas dreams are coming at once. I can't believe actually that it's available. I mean, it's just bonkers, really, isn't it? When you think about it, that we waited all this time. 2013 was Grand Theft Auto 5, and now we have Grand Theft Auto 6. It better live up to the hype. That's all I can say.
Especially for the money. It's not a cheap game, is it? So
no, it's not a cheap game.
But we were kind of right. We were pretty much spot on when we guessed the pricing.
Yeah, I think we were, and I think again it was indicative of AAA games at the moment, isn't it? Really?
Yeah.
It is.
But one thing has annoyed people, because you can order a digital one or you can order a physical edition.
Oh yes, I forgot about this.
And people who like physical ones that you can resell. Ah, well, you cannot. There will be no disc in your physical box. It will just be a digital download code.
Call me. I don't. Yes. I don't see the problem. I'm just like.
But if you want, especially if you're one of these people that don't have a great internet, how big do you think this game's going to be? 160, 200 gig?
Easy. 150, I reckon, minimum.
And if you don't have a great connection, I can understand that you go and you buy the physical game and that's got 150 gigs on there, and then there are some updates to do afterwards for day one, because they're always day one, but that's not so bad because it's probably only 5 or 10 gig. But if you've gone and bought a physical one and then you've got to download the whole 160 gig plus day one updates, that's you could be days downloading this.
Do you remember that kind of talking of Valve as well?
Yeah.
Do you remember when Half-Life 2 came out?
Yes.
And we had to have a Steam account, didn't we? And we had to do all that.
Yeah, we did. That was when I got my Steam account. Yep.
You could buy the physical game, and then you had to activate it. Do you remember all of that? And it just got me thinking about that, because without that, you couldn't play it unless you activated it. And that was And it just got me thinking the same thing again of that scenario. But you're right. Not everybody has a high internet connection. But on the other hand, it is 2026. It'll nearly be 2027.
Also, it kind of gets rid of your rights to resell it, though. I can go take a physical game and resell that.
Yeah, that's true. That is.
A lot of people still do that. We're in a lucky position that I don't need to go and resell an old game to be able to buy a new one. But that's not the same for everyone. They are cutting off a lot of that. Well, all of it really. You cannot resell it.
Yeah, that's true. It is removing the third party seller market on that.
Yeah.
But no, look, I don't know. I get it, but part of me is like, we're nearly 30 years into the 21st century. Physical discs are a legacy item at this stage in the game. But not everybody agree. I know it's a little bit provocative, but that's where we are, kids. Okay, so then what else we got? All right, so let's talk about something different. So, unless you've been living under a stone the last few weeks, you'll have heard us talking about the Trump Mobile T1 to give it its official name, and the phone finally landed in the hands of some pre-orders, didn't it?
Yes,
a couple of weeks ago,
yeah,
and including some of the news outlets in the US, and there have been, not surprisingly, some teardowns of the device, which have discovered that it is no more than a reskinned, rebadged HTC U24 Pro device, isn't it? And effectively, apart from a couple of tiny changes in it,
in the chassis,
it's gold.
basically.
Yeah,
and a bit of a bigger battery, I think.
Yeah. It is no different to the HTC design, is it?
No.
Which is just, again, another complete rip-off of the whole administration here, isn't it, really? That it's no different from the devices you could buy elsewhere in the world, I should say.
Yeah, so basically, it's right. iFixit did this teardown. Yeah, you got your gold case. I think the speaker hole pattern's slightly different. They really catered to flash. They put a larger battery in, but it only charges at 30 watts when the original phone charges at 60 watts.
Yeah, bonkers. Yeah.
They even went as far as taking the main board from the HTC, official HTC, and put it in the Trump phone, and it booted fine, and everything worked.
It's just, I mean, so the chipsets, the Snapdragon Gen 7, Snapdragon 7, Gen 3, 12 gig of the RAM, and half a terabyte storage, which is again the same. The difference was the Trump phone is from Micron, which is the board manufacturer's Micron.
Memory.
Sorry, yes, apologies. The memory is Micron, while the HTC is from SK Hynix. And the other thing was a pull down, wasn't it? Was that iFixit basically pulled it apart, didn't they? And they looked at the component supply chains to also think, well, if this was made in America, because it clearly says it's assembled in the US, is it? Proudly assembled in the
USA, yeah.
But iFixit, through their own research, again, based on the components, based on the manufacturing and other places, their statement or quote was, the only place the T1 could be made in the short space of time that the brand had existed, in the limited quantities being produced at the same price point as the U24, is at the factories with the pre-existing tooling, production lines for this phone. It concluded it's a phone designed in China, made in China, with a vast majority of parts sourced from China.
Yeah.
Well, cue surprise.
Yeah, they just say that they suspect a team in Florida bolts on roughly 10 components to it, but everything else is pre-assembled and shipped, and probably the sticker on the box, and screen protector maybe.
What a load of, I'm not going to say it, but what comes out the back of a horse, you know?
Oh, I know. Yeah.
I mean, it just sums up everything, doesn't it? Everything about what is going on across the pond. And I don't want to get too dragged into it because I've got to travel to the US next week.
So we will be releasing this after he's returned home safely.
But let's just say at the moment they've got the 250th anniversary fair going on.
Great fair, or whatever it's called.
In the National Mall, which I'll just say to you, go look up. Look at some of the pictures. That's all I'm going to say.
Look how busy it is.
You've got what else have you got going on? You've got the whole reflecting pool debacle as well. I mean, it is just indicative of what is going on there. And this device, I think, it's a visual representation of the whole administration.
Well, it is, and it will not surprise you. iFixit gave a 3 out of 10 repairability score. There are no service manuals, no parts. You can't repair it. It's full of glue. The usual stuff. So it's disposable, basically.
It just is. Yeah. Oh gosh, it isn't. You make it up as you go along, isn't it? Really.
Yeah,
Right?
exactly.
But the amount of money that they've made off the back of that from pre-orders is
Yeah.
just ridiculous, isn't it? Though I'm sure there'll be some die-hard supporters who will be pleased to be supporting their president in, buying the Trump T1 mobile, which of course is proudly assembled in the United States.
Yes. Parts of it, anyway.
The box.
It was proudly put in the box in the United States.
Proudly put in the box
Yeah.
by a minimum wage worker in somewhere.
Probably an illegal immigrant imported from Mexico. Child labour.
Yes, they're trying not to. Yeah, moving swiftly on. Right,
Yes.
let's talking of US then. A couple of weeks ago, Fox, the TV company, also made a bit of a surprising acquisition, didn't they? They shelled out $22 billion to purchase Roku, who are known for their streaming sticks and streaming TVs now, to bring them into the Fox field. And now that means Fox is the third largest TV. I don't want to say TV company, but I guess content platform. Is that the right way to describe it? Do you think?
Yeah, I think so.
So Roku, Roku's interesting because Roku came about, I don't know, how many years ago now? 10+ years ago with a stream. They had little streaming pucks, didn't they, that you could buy that were before the days of the Amazon Fire Sticks and all that jazz. I remember beta testing a Roku stick. So the large USB style ones that plugged into a HDMI port, and that was beta testing that way before Amazon Fire Stick came out and all that kind of stuff. And I think I had a couple of the Roku TVs, and I've got a Roku TCL TV in my dining room now, which does a great job. I mean, the Pi-hole blocks all the crap off it, but they are. I didn't realize, according to the article on 95 Mac, that they were a spin-off of Netflix. I never realized that.
Oh no, me neither.
But this means now that the TV content that Roku provide alongside their the physical hardware will now be broadcast by Fox. It means they'll also get access to Fox's content. And if you think of it, you've got the Roku channel, which is like the free streaming channels where they do a lot of free-to-air content, cartoons and stuff. You get all of the classic apps that you'd normally have, your Netflixes, your Disneys, your localized country things. They also co-brand, as I say, the TVs. They also co-brand projectors as well. I don't know if you knew about that.
No, that's a new one. Into everything.
They do a smart projector that you can, again, has all of the apps built in, which I thought was what a clever idea.
That's quite clever, yeah.
So that's it. So you've got the Roku channel and Howdy, and they're ready to go. Yeah, and like I say, been around for a little while. Introduced 2008. They came out of they came into a company. The original form factor was quite a square set-top box, reminiscent of kind of like a TiVo. TiVo, isn't it? That's all. I couldn't get the word.
TiVo, yes, TiVo.
But yeah, I mean, look, well, that I didn't expect that. Caught me by surprise when I saw that announced the other day. To be honest with you.
Yeah, it's interesting to see that everyone moved away from the cable companies, only for the cable companies to come and buy all the streaming platforms.
Yeah, and it just streaming is where it's going, isn't it? Let's be honest. We all know that terrestrial TV is dying a slow death. To be fair,
which is annoying. Right, this is my bugbear for it. Right, here in the UK, okay, so we do have all these streaming platforms. We have BBC iPlayer, Channel 4, Freeview now does. Is it Freely? Isn't it? Where it comes built into your TV. You don't even need an aerial anymore or a satellite dish. You get all your terrestrial channels straight over the internet, IPTV basically. But can I just go and sign up to an IPT server to get all the free channels I'm entitled to? No, I have to use a pirate server if I want to do that one. I don't want to use a TV with smart apps built in. As soon as your TV supplier stops supporting those, you have to go buy another TV. And I want one user interface. I don't want separate apps. I want a guide with all my live TV on.
Yeah, I get where you go. Yeah, no, I'm with you. Kind of, yeah, you don't basically.
And if I'm entitled to it for paying a TV license, why can't I get it the way I want to get it? Why can't you just give me an IPTV endpoint that I can plug my own services into and stream. I'm licensed to pay. I pay for it. I'm licensed for it. But no, I can't. It's just very annoying knowing the infrastructure is there. It's just a formality if they'd let me do it.
Yeah, it's a really good point, and I think when I look at that's probably the reason why we've retained Sky, because I don't necessarily want to watch everything.
No,
but like sometimes I want to watch Discovery Channel or I want to go watch Comedy Central or whatever, stuff like that, and I don't want to have the Discovery app. Exactly to your point, or what other app and go on that.
Yeah. Well, if I want to view what's on now live TV, I don't want to have to go to 5 apps and compare it. Remember what was in there. I want one. I want one user. I have that now with free sat, but it's not. I have to keep retuning. Blah blah blah. Sometimes when it's windy or raining, it breaks up the signal. I have a great internet. Why can't I just stream it over the internet? And it does it in other countries. Other countries do this where they have all their free-to-air channels on IPTV, and you can use whatever software you want to access the IPTV server.
That would be quite good, because I agree with you. Sometimes that's the bit that annoys me is you have to the other day I was sat in the dining room. I wanted to watch something. I thought, oh, what's on the BBC? So I come out the ITVX app, go across to the BBC iPlayer app. And of course, I know if you've noticed on iPlayer, the schedule's not easy to find. So I had to go to the channel listing.
They kind of hide real time stuff, don't they? And just shove all the on demand stuff.
And then I had to go all the way down to find the schedule, and then it's like, this is ridiculous. At that point, you just lost the will to live at that stage of the game. So I'm with you. I hear what you're saying, and that's probably the reason why we've kept Sky to a degree, is because even though I've got overlap on all of the apps, basically, I just it's easy. It's easy, to say the least.
Yeah, that's it. We do free sat, but we don't have a free sat box. I'm doing free sat over IP kind of things. It comes into a box, it converts to an IP signal, and it goes to a central TV server in the house, which dishes it all out to all the set-top boxes we have. Sat IP, it's called. And then, that gives me a wonderful GUI, but not being an official free sat box, it means it doesn't get the announcements that, oh, by the way, this channel's moving to this frequency, and I have to every now and then go retune everything. Just give me IPTV, please. I'm happy to actually pay for this. Even though I'm already paying for it with my TV license, but I'm actually happy to pay for it. Yeah, I can go to a pirate service, pay 10 quid a month, and get 7,000 channels.
I wonder, to be honest with you, whether or not this could be something that ends up happening. With as particularly the EU, I think could lead the. This is just me kind of riffing, but thinking of how the EU is with a lot of other things. As I'm guessing next 5 to 10 years, as the idea of terrestrial services becomes limited, doesn't it?
Yeah, they want bandwidth for other things, don't they? So
yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if like the EU starts to mandate that. You basically, there's one front end. Doesn't matter what app you've got, whether it's Netflix, whether it's Disney, whether it's I don't know, whatever your local TV provider is, BBC here, whatever it might be. Like you say, there's a front end service that can act as that.
The problem is, Apple tried that, didn't they? Apple tried that. They had the interface for it under Apple. I can't remember where it was, or whether they didn't do it anymore. But none of the suppliers
Apple TV,
wanted to
Apple
integrate
TV
with it to give you that single guide, did they?
You're right. Apple TV does that, so you can go on the Apple TV, and in theory, it can show you what's on across them. But you're right; it's not seamless
because it takes you out of their interface, and they can't sell you ads.
No. That there, my friend, is the crux of the issue.
Yes.
Anyway, right. And moving on.
Got time to talk about that one.
Talking about Purchase Z, we mentioned about the IPO of SpaceX the other week. They were doing very well, I have to say. SpaceX post IPO has retained most of its value. It has dropped, unsurprisingly, from a high of around 175, I think, wasn't it, down to 190. Now it's down around 150, 160, which is to be expected, don't forget. But they had a lot of money put aside. And they 1 week after being a public traded company, they acquired Cursor, cue surprise again, which they said they were going to, didn't they? Because they struck that $10 million deal and said, look, we're going to have a $10 billion payment from SpaceX to Cursor as a kind of a down payment, wasn't it, really, I guess, to say, look, we want to work
Yep.
together. Oh, and by the way, we've got loads of cash in the bank now. Let's just buy you. So,
Yeah.
pretty good going. And, hats off to Cursor because they, less than 4-year-old company?
Yeah, sold for 60 billion.
Yeah. I mean,
That's not
well,
bad.
not bad at all. The founders there have made a lot of money. I think they said the amount of people, there was some article I read that said how many people became millionaires
A
via
fair
that.
few, didn't they? Yeah.
Yeah, which is pretty good going. And, not bad for a company that, if you think about 10 years ago, the idea of a company called Cursor just didn't exist. Didn't exist
Yeah.
in it at all. But we now have it. So, hats off to those guys. Be interesting to see whether or not SpaceX make any more purchases in the coming months.
Well, let's just see where Cursor goes because historically it's run other people's models, hasn't it?
Well, they had
They generally use Anthropic and OpenAI as back ends for its coding prowess, that kind of thing. But is it going to still do that? Is it just going to switch entirely to Grok, which is a bit rubbish at coding? Just see what actually happens there.
Yeah, I would anticipate that they stay agnostic to a degree, is my view, because Anthropic, have signed partnerships with them, haven't they?
Yep.
Well, I said not. Sorry, I'll rephrase that. Excuse me. Sorry, Google signed a partnership with SpaceX. Anthropic are a competitor because they've got Claude Code, and you've got OpenAI's codexing. But that being said, I would imagine you're right that people will still want to be able to use it as an overlay on those other engines. But we'll see.
Yeah, it was kind of a neutral kind of bit of software that integrated with anything, did it? But I can see Musk changing that.
Oh yeah, true. For transparency, I did buy some SpaceX shares. They've increased my portfolio quite nicely, I should say. But again, no financial guidance coming from us.
God, definitely not.
All right. So the other story then, Anthropic. So do you want to take us up through this one about Anthropic and their limits? Because you were talking about this a couple of weeks back. Do you remember with your experiences?
Yeah. So I've only been using it for what, 4 or 5 months now, haven't I? Maybe something along those lines. Let's just say the start of the year. I started doing a bit of coding, but I'm not on the max plan. I am only on the pro plan. But while it started off great, it suddenly started, my usage I could get out of it dropped drastically. They have this, was it a 4 or 5 hour window, and you can only use so much tokens within that, and you have a certain amount of tokens per week, and they can eat into it. So, I was finding out I was maybe doing, at one point, 1 or 2 questions or small coding tasks. I was locked out for 5 hours. So I brought a second plan anyway, just to help me keep going. I don't really use the second plan now. It seems to have. Right, I need to cancel that. It seems to have got a lot better since they bought more space with more compute capacity with Grok, didn't they? Not Grok, sorry. SpaceX's server farm that they've rented space for that, and it's become a lot more use out of it now. But I wasn't the only one to notice one, especially people who had like max 5x and 20 accounts, and they were blowing through their 5 hour window in like 30 minutes when they used to never ever hit it. And I think you've done the same recently.
I had the same problem.
The window when you'd never done it in the past. So they have started a class. Is it a class action? Let's have it. Yes, they or hit a lawsuit about not being transparent. Really, wasn't it?
Very much, I think, yeah. And I think because it was no transparency on how those usage limits were calculated, was it, or how effectively how were you burning through that on the different tiers? Now, what's interesting though on that point is on Saturday 27th, I got an email from Anthropic saying we're raising the rate limits on the native Claude API as of the 12th of June. We increased Claude Sonnet and Haiku rate limits every usage tier, and starting 23rd of June, we're simplifying usage tiers. Your organization is moving to a higher tier. So what's changing? It just basically says no organization receives lower limits than today. There is start, build, and scale. Your organization moves to a higher tier immediately. Now, I've been using the API in a couple of my apps, but I can't really work out what's changed, if that makes sense,
Yeah, I was wondering if that's because you still had the API enabled. Right? We got a load of free credit, didn't we, at some point because of, the limits being lower. And then I used up my credit, and then I turned off the, I can't really call it now. There was a term for it, isn't it, where you could then, once you run out of your limits, you can then go and use APIs at a certain rate. I turned that off as soon as I used my limits. I wasn't sure if you had or not.
Well, that's different because if you go to platform.claude, that's where you build the APIs.
Right.
And
Okay.
I have got $10 of credit left in there. I only put I put $20 in about a month or two ago. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I burnt through that, or one of my apps burnt through that pretty quickly, I should say.
Yeah.
And I then topped it back up after realizing what was going on. But it's just a standard API, and I'm using the Haiku API. It's not got auto spend on it. And it's really low token usage. Now, if I go to Claude and I go to my Claude app and I go to settings and I click on billing, isn't it? On that one, or usage, I should say.
Usage, I think, isn't it? Yeah, you can turn on credits to keep using Claude if you.
Yeah, so I've got $75 of credit still available.
Wow, I've got $5 or pounds, £5, but I turned it off.
Yeah, mine's turned. Yeah, mine's still on. Turn on usage credits. You hit a limit. It's turned on, but I still got but there's no reload or anything. It's just the credits are sat there, which is great. Don't get me wrong, but I can't work out on. Oh, there you are. So I'm on the build tier. There we are. I've just looked up. I'm on the build tier.
Where do you see that one?
So that's in the platform.claude.com.
Ah, right, okay.
And you go into limits. Go into limits, and I'm on. So they have start, build, and scale. Oh, I'm on build apparently. So that means basically for Haiku, I get 5,000 requests a minute, 5 million tokens per minute, and output of 1 million tokens. And interestingly, it still says Fable at the top. So Fable is 2,000 requests a minute, 1.5 tokens a minute input, and you get 300k output. So less output, but of course it's much more. It's much more detailed, isn't it, than you'd have with others. If it's Opus and Sonnet, both of them are the same. 5k in, 5 million tokens, and 1 million tokens out on that front.
Gotcha.
So, yeah, no, I had it on a couple of apps I built where I was using Haiku to do some basic, sort of ML AI kind of updates on it, which is quite cool. But yeah, interesting to see what they're doing here and whether or not this class action lawsuit is going to get anywhere. I suspect it won't. But rate limits, to use a bad phrase, rate limits are still a very black box, aren't they?
They need definitely to be a lot clearer on it, because surely they must know how much each thing uses, because they designed it that way and they're billing for it. So they need to be a bit more transparent, I think, on this.
You'd like to think so,
Yeah.
But, yeah.
Their answer always seems to be, oh, well, it depends, how long's a piece of string kind of thing.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, but what version are you using? Have you stood on one leg and, which way is the sun facing? Stuff like that.
Which is very hard for a business to get on board when they want consistent pricing, don't they?
Yes, isn't it just?
Not the, we'll bill you at the end and then you owe us kind of thing. And it could be anything from 50 quid to 5 million.
Yeah. Which is what they want.
Well, yeah. I mean, the story says one enterprise client reportedly ran up 500 million bill in a single month.
Oh gosh. Moving on.
Yeah, exactly.
Moving on. So, last story there. So, Italy is joining the club of investigating Apple, aren't they, over its iCloud services, particularly then around iCloud backup, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, this is one I could get behind. So they're basically saying that, with your iPhone, your iOS, your Mac, etc., you are tied into iCloud to perform your full device backups, etc. And they are basically arguing that this should be open. You should be able to use any backend you would like. So I don't know, Google Drive, OneDrive, Dropbox, whatever you want it to be, not what Apple wants it to be. I'm kind of in agreement here. I see no reason why it needs to be iCloud, other than to sell you iCloud. It's a backup client. It takes a device image. It encrypts it. You can do that with all these other ones. I back up all my servers to Backblaze B2, and I hold the encryption keys. And it's backed up, and I can restore, and no issue whatsoever. Apple is a $4 trillion company. They could figure this out if they wanted to.
They probably could do, and I get one hand why it's iCloud because it's seamless on their devices, it's easy to do it. But you're right, there could in theory be an option of connect to other platform, isn't it?
It could still be seamless. There's no, again, they've got it all there. It's just maybe by default have iCloud and then have an advanced setting where you say, right, so here's my OneDrive username, password, API key, whatever it needs to access it. Store stuff there. Keep X number of copies, whatever it needs to be. And then when you have to log into your iPhone when you're restoring, aren't you? And it goes, I can see you've got yours back here. Please provide the encryption key or whatever. This isn't really a consumer as such. It's a bit more of a technical thing, but there's no reason they couldn't give you the ability.
No, you're right, and I think it would be helpful. And again, if you don't want to be paying for iCloud, if you want to pay for iCloud, crack on. Which isn't a problem, is it really? But you're right. If you don't want to pay for iCloud, then the option should be you could use another third-party service, and they don't necessarily have to do everybody. They could limit it to several. OneDrive, as you say, Google, so try to keep it to
my on-premise server. Back up to my NAS would be amazing.
Well, yeah, I guess I guess their argument would be they want to have reputable, secure services. I'm just saying, I'm not saying we're not, but I mean, I can see why would Apple would
I trust myself more than Apple with my data.
I don't know. Well, I don't know. I mean, yeah, good point. Sometimes I do. Sometimes I don't when things go wrong.
With my data on my NAS, no, we can just go to random authority in the US and say, I want Karl's data.
I'm going to put an information
request. Apple to do that. You know what I mean? But it's also about that data sovereignty.
Yeah, true. Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah. Well, let's see. I mean, look, let's see what happens here. I'm sure Apple hasn't commented on the matter yet, have they? We know that most of these services coming in iOS 27 around Hue should not be mentioned, and the intelligence pieces are delayed for the EU as well while they work out that. So, look, let's see what happens here. I don't think this would be something that we're going to see straight away. I could see it being wrapped in maybe for a later version of iOS 28, maybe, possibly. Yeah. I don't know, but it's just
we won't see it because we're in the UK. So
no, of course, but it is an option. I don't see the negative side to it, but I see why Apple are doing what they're doing. But look, it should be a choice, I guess, isn't it? If it can be done securely, it should be exactly. It should be a choice. All right, well, that's probably a good place for us to wrap up for today. It's been a slightly longer show than normal, but we had a lot to cover. We'll be back with episode 253 in the next week with all the latest tech news and stories and whatever breaking news lands before then. You can, of course, get us wherever you get your podcast from. We're also on YouTube and at techrat.online for all of our show notes and links to the stories that we've talked about today. So with that, I've been Jay.
I've been Karl. Have a good one all.